do you all have any further thoughts? Do you want to pick up the next morning?
Yes, next morning, but no, we don't have further thoughts because we don't really think that much.
Well, I have a note that I took last week, and I have 0% understanding of what the sentence says.
Let's see if we can unwind it.
Are you sure they're not my
says-
notes?
No, I can't see your notes today.
They don't even show a sentence.
It says Severin, parentheses, Verithus and Hark would know, has taken over the cult and is the Red Wyrmspeaker, and has placed Verum at the head of the White Dragon cult. This is important.
So you all have access to Talis, who is essentially open to giving you all information. And I believe what that is a note from names that she dropped, and it's more nobody question further. And those two would be the most likely to understand who Severin is. But Severin is the Red Wyrmspeaker. It is the person who controls the Cult of the Dragon right now. And it is the person who eventually gave the honor of being the White Wyrmspeaker to Verum instead of Talis, basically taking the title from Talis.
Okay. So last time was the plan that we are pretending to be new recruits, or are we just sneaking around in heavy armor?
I mean, it's a castle, so heavy armor would be okay.
Essentially, Talis was throwing you at her problem, letting you do her, like, your own thing, because you've been doing a good job disrupting Rezmir. Like, that was more or less what she was trying to convey to you all. Part of her hopeful that you die in the process. But basically saying, I can get you into the castle, you all do your thing. And it's going to work out good for me in the end. But your entrance is the banner, and then you have robes of cultists. And I believe she would have also given you the entrance password.
Yeah, you said that last time.
Did she give us any other kinds of I mean, I remember last time we had kind of like a montage, but did that montage include like things that a basic recruit would know about the dragon cult?
Not in particular.
Could we get that from her while we're waiting?
Good idea.
Yeah.
What are you trying to ask?
I mean, what level of ignorance is okay? I'm asking both as Teresa and as Siraj.
It will depend largely on how soon you intend to draw your weapons and start to fight for your lives. Many cultists are ignorant. It does not mean that their lives are valuable.
So even if we don't know all the particulars about the inner workings of the cult, we won't stand out. Is that right? As novices, anyway?
Perhaps. It depends what you do not know about. Many cultists are members for years before they are given any sort of responsibility. So if you are pretending to be somebody of importance and you do not know the most basic of information, you might be killed on the spot.
So it sounds like we should pretend to be very low level cultists.
Would we be flying in if we were very low?
If the castle is flying, everybody will be flying in.
Good point.
That's a really good point.
If it is still docked in Parnast, you can certainly walk up to the castle if you would like. But I have a feeling how Resmir set me up with you coming through the portal, that perhaps Resmir also intends to leave sooner than later.
So it sounds like this opportunity is a little more thinly veiled and will likely not hold up to close inspection, but at least we can get our feet on the ground wherever it's at.
From the cultists that I have heard of, who have maybe not fared well by your interruptions in the past, you all are not skilled in staying undercover, and I do not believe you will need more than the banner and a place to land. And from there, when you are found out, who knows? But I think you can handle yourselves. And if you cannot, it will be enough to damage Resmir's reputation even further.
And I don't suppose that you have any clues or inside workings as to, I guess, vulnerabilities that Resmir may have. We've not really encountered her, so I'm not sure. Is she more of a magic user, melee combatant?
Well, a black dragon should be feared for what she can bring to an encounter, but perhaps
Did you say anything after perhaps? I'm not sure if we lost you.
no, not in particular.
Did we find out what Talis's actual problem is with the rest of the cult? I know she hates Resmir, but that's... Yeah.
It sounded kind of like she was next in line to get promoted and then didn't get the promotion, so therefore was sort of like isolated / like betrayed.
Been there before.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was something about White Dragon Speaker, wasn't it? She got passed over for it.
I don't know. I got the gist that she doesn't want to sacrifice her white dragon to Tiamat.
I was more inclined to hope that you do not hurt the dragon that is on Skyreach Castle. He is one of my friends. But Resmir has Severin's ear, and Varum has Resmir's ear. Severin did not fight to keep me in place as the White Dragon Master.
So Severin took the red. He's the red Wyrmspeaker, and he took the title of White Wyrmspeaker from Talis and gave it to Varen, or the other way around. Can't remember. But now she's pissed and just wants her white dragon to be okay, and everyone else can just.
Do the other color dragons and their leaders figure into this at all, or do we not have to worry about them?
As we get closer to Severin's plan to raise Tiamat, you may perhaps have to start to worry about the dragons. But at present, it takes great concentration for the Wyrmspeakers to control their dragons. I believe you will find Severin is the only one who is currently practiced enough to control a dragon.
So I guess it's got something to do with those masks then. They've got the masks, they can tune to them over time or use them to gain ability or skill to control their corresponding dragon. I'd say it in character, but I literally cannot remember what the voice was that I did, so I'm sorry about that.
It was so good.
It sounded like a New York goblin.
So like the hobgoblin from the original Spider-Man films, then.
Pretty much, yeah. You kind of did this nasally like "Rah," type of thing.
Another half a bottle of whiskey and I'll be there, mate.
You have some serious tolerance, dude.
That's what
Did you
alcohol abuse
drink-
does for you.
Did you drink this much before COVID?
On Fridays and Saturdays, yeah. But then, like, when COVID first, I'm derailing. When COVID first started, I didn't drink at all, and then all of a sudden I started drinking every now and again, but usually on Tuesdays for this game. And then I stopped. I quit drinking for a while, and then I just started drinking again about 2 months ago. And yeah, my tolerance has rapidly built back up again, so I'm drinking quite a lot of whiskey.
All because Jape was an alcoholic. You had to start drinking again.
Basically, it was just method acting.
Right. And then he also went around and, hung out in ladies' toilets and stuff and grabbed women and stuff. And
Hey,
men.
that was Ofa, and he never technically grabbed any women.
Only men?
Well, he grabbed he grabbed, well, not Doc, was it? I can't remember what your last character was now.
Oh yeah, Goderic.
Oh, that was it, but it was only in a friendly manner. It was just simple hand-on-shoulder horseplay.
Pretty sure you slept inside of his thong in the Gut Bomb Tavern in Waterdeep.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I can't confirm or deny that.
Let's just say the sacred vow of the kilt has been violated.
There he is, that's Gorik. Anyway,
So,
please
are
continue. If
we-
I remember the voice, I will.
Are we
Sorry to read.
pretending to be white dragon cultists then? Is that what these robes are?
They're generic robes. It's just like a black robe.
Oh, okay.
It's more like a cult identification, and then the actual banner is sort of your at a distance. Wearing the robes, you will be in little danger, but the banner from afar will allow you to land. The wyverns will return to their stables, and you will be on Skyreach Castle.
Sarad, would Verthus know about your hat?
Probably. Probably you have seen me have to take it off.
The only reason why I ask is might be an idea if Verthus wears the hat. So
What? What?
so that a golden scale dragon doesn't walk into a cult.
Oh my god. Okay, we are getting a long rest, right?
Indeed.
Talis, please, 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 can I bathe in your lodge? If this is happening, I need to do something.
There is a certain and constant risk for every moment that you all are here.
I know, and what I'm saying is, when I'm gonna look real gnarly, and that's a big risk. I'm glad you and I are on the
Your
same page.
bathing and your life are equal?
What do you mean?
Your lives are in danger every moment that you are here.
Oh, it's a lodge, right? Aren't there guests from time to time?
Cult guests.
Yeah, I've got a robe. Just take a quick bath and be on my way. 2 hours tops.
You can certainly try. So this is pre-long rest.
Yes. Yeah, I'll give Rithis my hat after cleaning.
Ooh, about to get him that Shyamalan. Not gonna be one of those things where like you take the hat off and then all of a sudden you turn into Gotherick, is it?
Surprise!
So are we in the lodge or are we just outside of it since we slept in the bushes for our long rest, or what? I'm confused.
Well, you would be in the lodge talking with Talis, and then if Sarad is intending to bathe, that also would be in the lodge, and all pre-long rest.
Okay, got it. Does she smell? Don't know, to do like a perception check for her or something.
Like flowers. No, she probably smells real bad. But how can you tell? We all smell by now?
By using the power of my nose, I could deduce if you smell or not.
I see. Then yeah, she smells.
My secret ability that I've been keeping secret all this time is my sense of smell.
I
Get
have
+4.
I have a feeling that people are pretty immune to thinking about smelling things, and every once in a while they might walk past like a wizard who is actually clean and be like, oh my gosh, it smells like flowers, or it smells like patchouli, something of that sort. But I would assume most people smell horrendous, more like animals.
In that case, then I'm going to turn to our host and say, maybe it's best she does have a bath. She's a bit stinky.
I would actually assume that probably the half-orc is among the finer smelling of all of you, just with a like command of water.
That plus all that
Thank
disinfectant
you.
drool. And your drool acting like hand sanitizer for all down your torso where it dribbles.
I also imagine that Berthus doesn't sweat.
I've never met anything that drools often and also smells nice, just for the record.
Hey,
Before you.
So with Sarad cleaned, it seems rather uneventful for the evening. They set out another bit of food for you all that you can partake in some dinner, and then Talis sends you off to the woods.
All right, and I'm curious now. Do we notice anything different about Sarad? Does she still have the hat on?
She does not have the hat on. I've given it to Verthus so he can attune to it. But now she's not dressed in fabulous party clothes. She's got like pretty junky looking heavy armor on.
Disgusting.
does she smell better?
Oh, she smells much better, but she looks really sad.
And then physical appearance-wise, we don't notice anything different. Just like your clothes and armor.
Yeah. I don't think she's that vain.
What's going on here? I thought you were some kind of wizard.
I am, sort of.
Can we also have a description of what Verthus looks like right now in the hat?
Versus probably the plainest looking human you've ever seen, right? You know, he's not good looking, he's not ugly, he's pretty much like John Doe human. And I apologize for the sound in the back. We have some people repairing the exterior of our house.
Don't worry about it, man. I was hoping you were going to say he looked like the sixth member of Pussycat Dolls or something.
Yeah, or a really long fart. But yeah, I mean, at this point, it's something like, we've probably seen some cultists, some human cultists by now, right?
Yeah, most cultists will end up being human.
Yeah, so I'll probably choose like the most nondescript human cultist that I've seen thus far, and that would be how I project myself. Obviously, that doesn't hide my girth if I run into something, but I kind of look much shorter now.
Verthus, there's something about you. I'm not sure what it is, but you look a little different.
Yeah, I got my hair did.
That must be it. Your complexion looks nice. I mean, I wouldn't go licking your face or anything, but...
Well, I advise that you don't, because if you did, you'd probably be licking my nipples.
Doc's gonna like reach out and sort of like hesitantly like touch you to try to see if he can like still feel the normal Verthus.
I mean, you're gonna feel my chest if you try to like grab my face.
That's a neat trick there. How exactly are you doing that, Verthus? I know you've got some magic abilities, but...
I imagine that since this is in between our long rest and everything, like I imagine her hat, Sarat's hat is very floral and very nice. Definitely would probably look really odd on top of him. I just kind of pop the hat on and off to kind of like say before, after, before, after.
That's a neat trick there.
If I try it, will I look like a human?
Yeah, if you wanted to. But why would you want to? Look at how fabulous you are.
I don't want to. I was just wondering.
Yeah, you could. I mean, out of character, sure.
Why would anyone want to look like a human who was not a human?
Because probably golden dragon scales are probably not the best thing to be showing around a whole bunch of people who are white and black and chromatic dragon supporters.
Yes, I didn't want to say anything, but I have noticed that the majority of the cult, especially Dragonkin, do not seem particularly fond of you, my friend.
So until the gig is up, I thought I'd try to give us the best foot forward.
I think that's an excellent idea. Best not have just the momentary glance of your flesh be enough to give us away.
But yeah, my goal would be to not stand in front. I'll probably stand amongst you, and trying to stay apart from you as much as possible. I mean, Because if I bump into somebody can definitely recognize that something's amiss.
And what about you, elf friend? Exactly where do you fit into this dilemma?
Well, I'm not going to do the voice. F my real. Oh. Okay. Oh well. You've got aligned goals, and let's leave it at that for now. I suppose. You know, you want them dead. I want them dead. It's an arrangement of convenience. Pretty cool, right?
I'm not really sure that you offer much to this situation. Judging by your skills inside the house, I hope that you do better in battle.
What exactly is it you're referring to as my skills inside the house?
Oh, I don't know, whatever that line of negotiating or questioning or whatever was.
So you think that you could have done better?
I can't say that I would have done better, but I know I couldn't have done worse.
This fucking guy. I'm gonna burn this place down to the fucking ground, man.
Just out of curiosity, are you saying like metaphorically or like literally?
Well, there's only one way to find out, right?
Perhaps you should hold off for now. I don't think it's a great idea to, and I'll sort of look him in the eyes and say, burn this bridge just yet.
I thought you were gonna summon Alistair. But what about you? You look pretty what's the word for it? Ill. What are you offering for this group? You the mascot or
You could argue that I'm on my way out, but the truth is, I've never felt better. I'm in my prime.
has that been doing some exceedingly good cheering from the sidelines recently or what?
You could just say that when it counts, they matter.
I accept that. I accept that. I like it. I tell you what, you just earned yourself the head of the robot, my friend. No, hang on. I should also point out to everyone that about 10 minutes ago, I chased after my cat and just ran forward by accident. Feeling a little bit dazed. You might want to just give me 10 minutes to go and run my head under the.
Oh, was that in game or in real life?
Oh,
I think that's real life.
Back in a few minutes.
Hark got defeated by a running cat.
I mean, it still lasted longer than fucking Yarn's character.
Well,
Sorry, mate. I was really hoping Aladdin was going to show me the world on his magic carpet.
yeah. One day probably. And then he will be back.
I hope you got his character sheet saved.
I still have it, yeah.
Well, I look forward to his return. Anyway, I am going to be back in a minute. I'm getting a bit of a lump. Sorry, back in a sec.
So thoughts on staying in the woods? Do you all have plans on how you will set watches? What are you thinking?
Well, nothing bad is going to happen to us, so we don't need to set watches.
Seems valid.
I can go first. It doesn't really matter. Or I guess realistically, what we could do 1.5 per watch or whatever.
Yeah.
What is a half person?
I'll do like 2 people on one watch, then 1 on the next, then 2, then 1.
So who do you trust to do the solo watches?
Or I guess realistically, what is it? We need to get 6 actual hours and then 2 like kind of downtime hours.
Effectively, yes.
Oh, so we each do 1 watch then for 6 hours? Does that work? Or is it better to do 3 hours with 2 people, then 3 hours with 2 people? Then you know what I mean?
I can do one of my own. Don't you worry about me.
Well, like the 2 hours that you don't need to be sleeping are when you are effectively like on watch. So it's not that you need to watch for 6 hours. You need to watch while people are sleeping across 8 hours.
Yeah, my bad. I worded that poorly. So basically, to get a long rest without extending the time of the long rest, can we do 2 people per watch for 6 hours? Like, or no?
I believe no, because you only have 6 people.
How about 12 hours, 1 person on a 4-hour shift, and rotate that, and that would guarantee everybody gets 8. I mean, if something happens, everybody's gonna, whoever's on watch is gonna wake people up, right? So I'm not sure we need 2 people per shift.
Well, yeah, we could have 1 person watch, and then have everybody else sleep at the same time. So that should only take like normal time.
Well, I was gonna say my character doesn't really need a long rest. He's spent 2 sorcery points, so he can just not take a long rest and watch if you want. Depends if you trust him or not.
You do still need to sleep to not get exhaustion, though.
Yeah, I definitely need to remove a level.
Ah, shit.
Well, you're also elf, right?
Half elf.
Do you still have trance? So meaning you only need 4 hours?
No, half elves don't.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Or I think anyway. I'm pretty certain they don't.
So Jared, what's the actual like rules part of it? Like with the amount of people we have with 6 people, do we need to put just 1 on each watch, or can we do 1, 2, 1, 2? I can't remember how we normally do it.
The reason for putting 2 people on watch is to try to have a chance to see when something goes down. It's doubling up the chances of not being surprised.
And is there like a detriment to that though? Like at a certain point? Like does it cost us more time? I mean, I know time is kind of irrelevant, but assuming we wanted to get up and go like first thing in the morning or whatever.
I think what it comes down to is that with 6 people, you can watch 4 hours with a single person and 4 hours with 2 people. And that's everybody on a 2-hour watch. And it's up to you,
Okay.
like how you want to break that down.
Oh, that makes sense. Let me do I can go last and be the solo person or something like that, if that'll work. That way the likelihood of something going down would be more likely while everybody else is like rested.
When would everyone else like to take a watch?
I'll watch first. I'll watch first.
After that acute cranial distress, I think I might need to go last and get a big rest in beforehand.
You want to double up with Doc, or are you going to watch just before him in what's like the open last one?
I'd say I'll double up with him. Why the hell not? That lady said it was unsafe here, and I trust her. So let's do that.
You trust her?
I trust that it's dangerous.
What about Talis is not trustworthy? Come on, guys. She referenced trying to get you guys killed every other conversation.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. I trust that it's a dangerous area, not that I trust her in the slightest.
All right, where's
It's
everybody
not
else
as much.
watching?
Not as much if she wants us dead, but more like when.
And how?
She's like the evil person who doesn't try to hide that they're evil. So you know all of their bullshit is probably going to work out to your detriment, and yet you can still trust that everything that they're doing is probably evil. So we're just not doing any watches for the middle. I think 5 people, 3 people.
I'll take one.
I can take one too.
Where do you guys want to watch? It's like the middle 4 hours right now.
Oh, wishes go first, and then I go after wishes.
All right, let me have you all roll perceptions. Doing 2 perceptions.
Oh, nat 20, yo! Congrats, mate.
Did you say 2 each?
Yep, 2 each. First hour and then second hour.
Thank you, by the way, on the nat 20.
Vicious, couple of perceptions from you.
You want to know what a modifier is? Check it.
In real life, it's definitely negative. I'm not sure in game terms.
Well, initiative's at a -3 right now. Her perception's a +3, so do you want me to roll for her? I've got the same modifier.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine didn't show up. I'll try again.
Oh, here she is. Oh, I'm glad I didn't roll for you now, because I would not have got a nat 20.
Hey, nice.
Obviously better than my real life since I couldn't figure out how to make stuff show up here. I guess that isn't perception, that's intelligence.
Give y'all a little campfire there. And y'all want to place yourselves around the camp?
We're definitely getting attacked, otherwise it wouldn't be happening.
What?
I should get inspiration for that. Oh, let me drag it on, by the way, it's just highlighting stuff. That was worth.
I think everything's all set up for Hark.
I think so. Yeah. Sorry, it was it worked. I don't know why, but the first 17 times I tried, it was just highlighting all the text around it. This time, it's let me do it. I am also vaguely tipsy and have recently ran full speed into a wall, so I assume that there's going to be some human error involved in actions for the next sort of hour.
Wait, did the cat use a laser pointer on you and ran you into the wall?
Well, no, I was using the laser pointer, but then I got confused and I thought, oh, I want that.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Yeah, exactly. But as I chased after it, it would like move, so it was just it was the weirdest thing.
So the first few watches go without much happening. Vicious, your first hour seems nice and calm, but you do start to hear like rumblings and like chirpings out in the forest before eventually just deep silence starts to sit into this actual area of the forest where you all are sleeping.
All right, well, I'm adjacent to Doc, so I'm going to poke him.
What are you saying to Doc?
Hey, wake up. It got really weirdly quiet out here.
You mean to tell me, Vicious, that you're waking me up to tell me that it's quiet?
Well, I didn't want to wake up everyone until I had a second opinion.
Don't take this the wrong way, Vicious, but you're not really my type.
No, stupid. It was louder. There were night noises of crickets and whatever, and then it got really quiet. See, listen.
Yeah, it's definitely quiet, Vicious. I guess I can stay up with you for a little bit. You want me to light a torch and have a walk around?
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
I should be honest with you, Vicious, because I've never really lied to you before, but I don't really have a type. I was just being grumpy.
I don't even understand what you're talking about. I'm more concerned about the fact that it got really quiet.
Just out of curiosity, you don't happen to have a torch, do you? I appear to be depleted.
Well, I can get you a stick from the fire.
I'll get my own stick. Doc will walk over and grab a stick and just do like a little perimeter walk around the camp.
It's like trying to walk around with a match, using that as light. It doesn't really work very well. The perimeter seems pretty clear. You do notice the same awkward silence in a forest that is normally alive and awake with insects, birds, and just general noise. And every few moments you feel like you hear like the sound of like wood snapping, maybe cracking under pressure.
Doc will light a cigarette and he'll just kind of rumble to himself. Never met a gigantic half-orc barbarian that was afraid of the dark. Jesus. And then he'll hear like the snap or whatever and sort of like pay attention to it for a minute, kind of stare off into the darkness.
Stare off into the edge and get an extensive feeling that there seems to be some sort of apex predator of sorts in this area. It might not be near you all yet, but whatever that is snapping the trees, causing this silence, seems to be, like from your experience, what happens in woods when a predator is about.
All right, I'll just slowly circle back to the camp, and one after another, I'll walk by each member of the crew and just sort of give them like a light kick to wake them up, like quietly as I just stare at that point.
So, as Doc walks by and kicks everybody, what are you saying to each person?
On guard, there's threats upon us.
So then I think the biggest question is going to be who armors up versus if you're in light armor or no armor, you can sleep in that. If you are in medium armor, you're taking 5 minutes, and I think it's 10 minutes on heavies. But there's a certain time constraint, basically, if you are arming yourself at this point.
Quite the quandary.
I'm already up and about in light armor.
I exist only in light armor.
So Hark's getting up and active.
Yeah, I'll get up, but I'll be like, it'd be a bit peeved that he's being awoken.
Hadar, Sarad, Verthus, any of you all ignoring Doc?
No, I would have no reason to ignore him. Yeah, I will start putting on my armor.
I mean, you're saying, for heavy armor, it's going to take 10 minutes, so I guess I'm not wearing armor. So I'll just grab my glaive and see what's up.
Gotcha.
I don't need to wear armor, so I'm just grabbing my stick.
So it doesn't take long for everybody else to kind of pick up on the odd silence of the forest about you. There's little else other than the actual crackling of the fire around which you all are sleeping. There's a cool breeze to the night, and it's definitely a creepy feeling just kind of staring off into the darkness, trying to pay attention for this thing. Quite a bit of time is going to pass. Sarad, you are going to finish donning your armor. And it just kind of passes about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and towards kind of the setting of the moon, well into the evening here, there's going to be deeper sounds of like footsteps and cracking trees, and you all are going to see the first signs of a very massive silhouetted creature. And I guess it's not silhouetted, I guess it's opposite. Like you'll see like the eye shine of its eyes as it looks towards the fire and seems to be paying attention to you all from about 40 feet away in the tree line.
Do we have any inclination as to what this beast might be? Are we able to recognize from like the reverse silhouette?
Yeah, my bad. It would just be the eyes at this point. So you see eyes staring into this area, probably about 8 or 10 feet off the ground. They seem to be probably about. Maybe it's hard for you to tell the distance in particular to this thing. Perhaps it's close to you, and it's like a fist or two width between the eyes, or perhaps it's further away and it's almost like a foot between the eyes. It's hard for you to actually get that idea of the actual distance in the darkness.
Doc will sort of like point off towards the eyes, and he'll say, "It's either big and it's close, or it's really big and it's still far away." But I will pull out my bow and like ready an arrow.
A little like growl on the wind. You see is there's almost like a spiky protrusion kind of like floating through the little bits of light that are scattering around this area, and you see just kind of like a puff of like fur and spikes just kind of floating through the air.
Am I able to see anything more detailed with dark vision? I'm guessing not.
You see a larger figure on all fours with a pretty large silhouette to it of like a big coat of fur that almost extends out in about 3 or 4 feet around the head. And you see this creature has the massive long tail with huge spikes protruding from the fur on its tail.
I'm gonna whisper to Doc. Hey, look out! It's a spiky boy. That's me trying to whisper and do a voice at the same time.
You sure there, my friend? I can't really see much of anything. You sort of hit your head back there. You might have a concussion.
Wait, you're not my dad. I'm just gonna lie down again. I'm joking.
My bad. I don't know that you have dark vision, so I'm
gonna go. Hey, you see these? These elven eyes. I can see it. It's a bit vague, but yeah. Bad person. Be quiet. Don't move. Can't see if you don't move.
Creature seems to be sniffing the air.
I turn to Sarad. I knew she should have had that bath. Fuck.
I did! I had my bath!
You didn't use soap. You only submerged yourself in lukewarm water, and I know it.
In a moment, it's going to leap from the edge as it starts to cover the ground, running towards the closest person to it. Can I have everyone roll initiative?
Closest person?
Guys, this may be my fault. I covered myself in urine before I went to bed to try to scare off any predators.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit weird, but I saw you take my bottle of piss.
I rolled that nat 20, so I thought it would counteract it, but I guess not.
Nah, mate, you're a high roller today. Just get used to it. Just accept that today is your day.
Okay, mine didn't show up. Try again. All right, well, at least it showed up. I just didn't select my thing.
All right, so it's going to start off with Doc. What's your thought?
And you said it's like coming out of the bushes charging at us?
Yep. It's coming from the northwest, and it seems to be charging towards Sarad.
I'm gonna shoot it with my bow. So Doc will let the first one fire, and then he'll quickly shoot a second one right afterwards. Uh, 15 to hit.
One more moment. $15 hits.
Okay, I actually rolled the second one already too, so 15 and a 16
as well. Hits.
And then I'll just yell out, careful, it's charging, and I'll run forward too.
Look out, the ice is breaking. Sorry, you're American, you said look out, I couldn't help it.
And that's it for me.
You all sound like Christopher Walken to me.
As you place 2 arrows into it, it's going to flinch as it kind of stumbles a little bit. And in the process of regaining itself, you're just going to see as its tail raises high, and then 2 quick little, like, pokes out at you, it's going to shoot little spears into you. 21 should hit, 15 I believe will miss.
I got my bow out, so they'll both hit.
And it will do 11, 17 damage.
Is it possible that when I charge forward, I would switch to my daggers, or I'll just take it because I didn't say it. So
what is it with dual welding? It doesn't take any free action, or it uses your free action to do both?
yeah, it basically lets me do 2 weapons with a single like free action. I can sheathe or unsheathe.
Drawing the arrow is still using a free action though.
Okay, yeah. I took it.
And then it is going to Sarad.
Is it still looking at me, or is it looking at Doc now?
You can roll a perception. It's hard to tell, but I wouldn't feel too safe. It certainly seems to be charging at you. And in the process, you're watching as Doc is kind of getting in between the 2 of you.
So I would like to cast Shield of Faith on Doc.
I believe that is +2 AC for you, Doc.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'll run over to the side and throw a Sacred Flame at it. It's a Dex 14.
No, that didn't mean to do that.
It's going to take the full damage. And it will go to Vicious.
All right. For rage, it says that I lose it if I'm not attacking somebody in a round. Does that include at distance or not?
Like throwing your javelins, I believe that's going to count as your attack. It's an attack action, I feel like, is what it's looking for.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna throw, I guess, two regular javelins.
I think
Can I
it's
do
more
that?
like you can't like read a book and rage. Like,
I get really mad at some books.
Yeah, it
It could
depends
be
on
really
the book.
difficult. Yeah, it could be really hard words.
Yeah. Or the plot doesn't line up.
That's different though. You read the book and then you rage. You can't rage and then sit
Aaron the half orc. I would like to rage read.
Rard! This story makes me so mad. These characters are not acting the way I think they should.
Somewhere out there, there's a wizard barbarian that can be made. But yeah, you could definitely huck your javelins as you rage.
All right, so I get two, right?
Yep. Are you going reckless?
No, because I'm not next to it.
Both of them miss.
Did I? Probably I should have. Oh well, it didn't make sense to me yet. So then I will run up. Is this thing flying?
At present, it is not flying, but you can roll a perception check. And then it'll go to Hark. It does not look like a creature that can fly.
Okay, so I reckon there's about a 50% chance that Yarn is dead. So instead, I am going to twin spell haste on Doc and Vicious. And I'm also going to do that as a... Shit, what's it called? Meta magic spell, so it's a bonus action.
Why do you think he's dead? And what does haste do for me?
Haste means that from now on until it fades off and you can't, you skip a turn, but let's just not talk about that right now. From now on, you now get one additional action per turn, which has to be attack. Let me just post it.
Do you believe that I will die in this fight?
Oh, here he is. Sorry, I just haven't heard from you in 17 years. I didn't know if you were still kicking it or not, bro.
Well, I'm still around, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, mate. If I'd have known, I'd have given you haste instead. I do apologise.
No, give it to them. It's better on them, I believe. I don't need more.
Yeah, but they just had their turns, so if I'd given it to you, it would have been like, what, a 20% extra additional outcome per turn, whereas for them, I suppose it's 33%, no, 50% extra outturn, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
50 and 33% respectively.
you bonus actioned and twinned to put haste on... You said Verthus and Doc?
No, Doc and Vicious.
Doc and Vicious, word.
Yeah, so that consumes 4 of my sorcery points out of 7, which is fine. Who needs sorcery points anyway when we're about to go and invade a castle? We're definitely going to need them.
Technically out of 5, because you wouldn't have had a long rest yet.
Oh, okay, fair enough then. Oh, that's even better then. That's good news, because that means that when I have my long rest, I'll have 0. Okay, cool. And then for my action, I'm going to just use standard firebolt on the big boy. So 23 to hit for 12 damage. Is that +4 on top of that, or is that already with a +4?
I believe it's going to be the 16.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I think +5 is your modifier, so you rolled a 7, adding +5 for your stat for charisma, and then the +4 is your fire elemental.
Hey, I'm not going to argue. That's better than what I thought it was. So yes, thank you very much, and that does end my turn.
And let's see. It's gonna go to... What's your dexterity on Hadar?
16. A +3.
Actually, you know what? At the end of Hark's turn, it's going to shoot 2 little spears from its tail at Hark. 21 and a 24, both of those should hit.
Yeah, they do.
For 8 damage, I need you to make a concentration check, and then for 5 damage, I need you to make a concentration check.
How dare you. It's almost as if you don't want me to do haste. What was it for concentration, sorry?
I think it's just going to be your Constitution saving throw, and then it's just a 10 plus, basically. Alright, you maintain.
Thank fuck.
No, it was more that I recognized that it was about to take its turn, and I needed to use its legendary actions.
Okay, fair
so
enough.
my bad. What was your dexterity on Hadar? I feel like it's higher, so I think it's going to you regardless.
16.
Yep. Wait, 16? So you're +3?
Yes.
Yeah, fuck it. Go to you.
Perfect. Well, then Hader's gonna roll into battle. And afterwards, I'm
Damn it, I
gonna...
should have went before you.
yeah. I'm gonna gonna attack it with my quarterstaff. I'm gonna 25 to hit
hits.
it, and I'm gonna try to apply a stunning strike to that.
DC's still 13?
Yes.
It like shakes it off.
Gonna try again. 23 to hit.
Try again as you're gonna try to stunning strike again.
Yes. That's what I meant.
It's going to freeze in place.
Perfect. See how I didn't even need your haste. And I'm gonna continue to my to do an unarmed strike on it. 22 to hit that because I have the advantage now.
Can you describe how you punched the head off of a Manticore?
Well, I'm gonna try to punch it like I'm gonna try to cut it with my hand at the neck. With a flat hand and just trying to cut it cleanly off.
What are you cutting it off with?
At its neck. With my hand. Pure hand strength.
His sharp tongue.
Like,
So it will end the combat there. Everybody who fought or took any actual actions in that, you effectively are losing your rest at that point. So I believe at this point only Verthus is on the same sleep schedule.
Alright, let's extend our sleep, guys. Let's just get a full kip in and hang on.
Hey, let's extend our sleep, guys. Let's get full sleep in. Let's all snooze and then wake up feeling better, yeah?
Good idea.
No one disturb me. I'm going in this bush.
Taking this armor off again.
Main things that you tried.
The moment Doc started waking everybody, well, realistically, the moment Vicious started waking everybody up, I was giggling. But then when Doc woke everybody, and then when everybody actually got up, I was like, oh, that's cute. You all think this is actually something dangerous.
Well, with you, I assumed it was going to party wipe us.
I don't mean to change the subject, but are we just gonna pretend like no one else saw Hadar karate chop a Manticore's head off?
I thought I dreamed it. He looks like a ball. He can't do anything right.
I would think, like statistically, based on the distance from his elbow to his hand, that would be an impossibility. But
He uses a stick for fuck's sake. It's blunt. What does he do? Whack his neck for 10 hours? I don't understand.
once again, not to change the subject, but is there a reason that they call you the goat?
Just reasons, and a couple of times I headbutted someone in the chest, and then they started calling me the goat. Don't really agree with it personally, but it kind of stuck, and that's how people kind of knew me. So it's not like I look like a goat. I don't act like a goat. It's just headbutted some people in the chest a few times, and it's not a big deal. So I'd appreciate it if it wasn't brought up again, really, in the near future.
Oh, I thought you introduced yourself as Hawking the goat.
Now she did it because that's what she knew me as. And alright, I may have mentioned when I was bigging myself up that I was Hawk the goat because I thought it would carry some weight, and I might have been wrong, and I'm sorry. You try headbutting a few people in the chest and see where it gets you.
I feel like that wasn't the same voice last week, and I do apologize.
But the accent sounds thicker and better.
Oh, thank you. I just put on a Cockney accent that time. I have no reason for that.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's like Michael Caine if Michael Caine smoked 50 a day.
So it's your Doc Michael Caine?
Yeah, you got it, bro.
So, as everybody starts to set back in, dealing with this fresh kill, it's going to be Hadar's watch.
Definitely gonna eat it.
Are you watching, or are you eating, Hadar?
I'm eating. Definitely eating.
I appreciate your bait, Jared.
What's everybody else doing?
I'll have to commit to what I said before, despite Jan's decision to distract himself with eating, and I originally said that I was going to go and sleep in this bush over here.
Park's returning to sleep.
Before Doc goes to sleep, he's going to say to Hadar, Hadar, if you don't mind, save me a piece of that core. That Manticore.
Yeah, sure, I'm gonna leave you the best parts. I'm just gonna lay them over here afterwards, okay?
It's gonna leave you the hot dog.
Hadar definitely eats the hot dog.
Yeah, right. Hadar's character is Asian, isn't he? He's going to go straight for the penis.
I was thinking lips and assholes.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were talking about like Asian culture.
I was in the same boat, mate. I also thought he was talking about the Alpine.
That's like the most valuable part for fertility.
Yeah, that's 5 years of your life.
And dog needs them, I believe.
Half my family are Malaysian, and I have made that joke a couple of times before. But in good context, that about the longevity and stuff, and they appreciate it, so it's okay, it's cool. Apparently, they're cool with it, so it's okay.
How many hours have we slept?
Most of you are in 4 hours or so.
Yeah, so we now have to have is it a 12-hour long rest, I think, in total for everyone to be rested up? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
One of the things that I've been thinking about with that is I feel like maybe getting half time for long rested interruptions would be viable, because you certainly can't just sleep again, but at the same time you do still need to sleep. So I think at this point, I of course erased my whole whiteboard, so I also erased all of the actual watches. But I think Vicious watched first, and then Sarad? Was that correct?
Yeah.
I think I watched first because Vicious needed to get rid of exhaustion.
So I think Sarad and then Vicious. So the two of them effectively have, like, was it 3 hours of rest? Everybody else would be at, would be at 6. No, wait. Damn it, I said that wrong. The two of them would be at 4 hours, so they would be at 2 hours of actual rest. I think that would actually be 1 hour. Fuck, this is so goddamn confusing. You guys need to sleep longer, but Verthus is essentially fully rested. It's 6 hours into the night. And you have to sleep for 6 more hours.
I vote we get the long rest in, and Vertus very valiantly takes watch until we've all had our long rest.
Yeah, I need the long rest so that I can at least get one level of exhaustion done away with.
I mean, I'll take the last. So if I get the long rest around 8ish, I can take the last 4-hour watch. Put on the armor and just kind of watch everybody so they can finish off if you like.
Yeah, you do effectively have to spend 2 hours still. No, you can be armored while you're on watch, yeah. So you basically, at this point, once that watch kind of finishes, you're like effectively like minutes away from finishing the watch. Because that would have been in... No, I think I'm saying it wrong still. I think that would have been the 4th hour that the actual Manticore came. Vicious woke everybody up in the 3rd. But you're still effectively kind of like resting while you're relaxing. It would have just been like that tension of hearing everything, but everybody's more or less relaxing still. Not sleeping, but... So, I think more or less Verthus needs 2 hours more. Hadar needs 2 hours more, but also has to sleep. God damn it, this is too fucking confusing. Guys have a blend of what you need. The question is who is going next on watch. It's still going to be Hadar and...
How about Hadar and somebody, I guess, for 2 hours? And then at that point, the remaining time I'll watch over whatever time that is, because I'll already have my 8 at that point, and then everybody can get their full rest. So I'll take the last shift by myself.
I didn't understand it, but I agree to it.
So do you want to stay up with...
I'll watch with Hadar right now then.
Gotcha. So, Doc, I guess I can scroll back to your perceptions. Oh, word. That works.
Oh, I just rolled a new one. Assuming it was invalid. 21.
Word. Okay. So you can't really tell over the sound of Hadar going to town on Fresh Manticore. But the forest is still silent. It still has no sound of active animals. And you're still picking up occasional sounds of breaking branches and very similar sounding things happening in this forest.
Hadar, I can't tell if you're scaring everything off ravaging that Manticore or if there's still something out there, but it seems awfully quiet.
Well, looks like it, but here you wanted some parts of the Manticore. Yeah, well, what was it? Of the dead animal here. Have it. Have a good taste, and he's gonna hand him the testicles.
You just had the testicles already in your hand waiting?
Yeah, I prepared them for you. There. I put them over the fire before, so you can eat them now.
I mean,
Not much for the delicacies, Hadar, but won't turn down your toast. I'll take one testicle and toast the other one, and wait for him to put it in his mouth.
What is
Uh,
it? You,
is it going to fit in his mouth? Those things are probably the size of freaking grapefruits, right?
I never thought I would have to imagine the size of Manticore testicles, but I definitely imagine it's like a fucking oh man, like an emu, not an emu. Those fucking gigantic bird eggs.
ostrich.
Yeah, but they're
ostrich
mushy.
egg.
Doc's holding the Manticore melon in 2 hands, and it's slowly creeping towards his face. But he's staring Hadar in the eyes to see if he bites into his testicle.
Before you can see it, Hader already bite into it.
Sarad, I just want to point out that if this was a group of all women, we would not ever have thought of this.
No, not at all. But that being said, I think they're mushy, so you could probably fit it in.
You can see as Hader tries to fit the whole testicle in his mouth.
It's
How
a
little she
grapefruit.
knows.
What is it you Americans call testicles again? It's something like medallions or something. It's like Arizona medallions or some shit.
Mountain oysters.
Yeah.
Rocky
it,
Mountain
that's it.
oysters.
Classic
Oh,
American.
does Hadar have inspiration right now?
Yes. Or wait, do I have? Yeah, I have. I have inspiration.
It's one of the reasons why I've been thinking about changing inspiration, where you can stack it and it's just like +1 to a die roll per level, because that's fucking amazing. So, Doc, are you eating a Grey Mountains oyster? Or
I mean, I'm not going to lose fear factor because Monk over there beats me to the punch on a Manticore testicle.
This whole time I thought it was going to be the mother.
26 for my testicle constitution save.
Yeah, that's a good point. Was it even male?
By the time they put its nuts in their mouth, it was definitely male. While you guys are eating the Manticore testicles, you're going to hear from the south the sound of a voice. Suffer for eating our father. And we're going to jump right back into initiative.
That was weird.
How much
You
time?
managed to roll new?
Yeah, I randomly cleared it, so you might as well just roll fresh. This would be in effectively the same time frame. I assume vaguely as everybody passes out, like kind of within the next hour. I'm not sure how much of a rush they were to put those in, but the encounters were back-to-back hours, so it would be the 4th hour and the 5th hour of the night.
My initiative went to the bottom.
But it started at the bottom. Now you're here.
Yeah, I don't have that like same initiative tracker that would like auto sort you all before.
So wait, who heard that about the father thing?
Doc and Hadar.
Oh, so the rest of us don't know that this happened. Plus, I think I'm asleep.
Yeah, effectively the other 4 of you are sleeping right now. Alright, and we are going to do... Doc is more currently eating it, so we're going to do 2 tail spikes into Doc and 1 into Hadar. Hadar should hit with a 20 for 6 damage.
I'm assuming all those spells went off, haste and shield, right?
Yeah, this is effectively an hour later right now.
Okie dokie.
So this one is flying overhead about 20 feet above the ground, and it is going to put 2 into Hadar and 1 into Doc. 24 should hit Hadar for 5 damage. As again, they're like flying forward and their tails are just releasing like a hail of spikes out at you from above their head.
There's one or there are 2 of these things?
So far, there are 2.
Oh, so they've got more siblings showing up.
Hashtags go far.
So I think at that point, the commotion would kind of go down, and Vicious, you would be the first of the sleeping people who would be kind of surprised waking back up into the night. So I don't think it'll be any issue at that point there, but you are effectively awake as your turn's going to end here, and you can have access to your reactions if they come about.
All right. There are more of these things?
I mean, Josh was right. It just wasn't about that Manticore.
No, that was supposed to be in character.
Also, I don't remember what I said.
Oh, about it being an easy fight on the first one.
Did I say that? Oh wow, what a fool I was. I should have known what game I was playing.
So let's see. This one, I think it's gonna do 2 into Hadar again and 1 into Doc. All right. So 24 should definitely hit Hadar. Does a 16 hit Hadar and 18 hit Doc?
16 hits.
All right. So the 2 into Hadar are for 10 each, and then into Doc for 10.
Oh, was that the first actual one that hit me out of this little combat? Because I think you said you were attacking me with the other ones and never said any damage or anything.
I feel like I already hit you with 1, but I don't remember. I think I was rolling low though, so maybe like 5 damage.
Affirmative. Doc's bloody.
And then that's going to be Verthis coming to Hark, and then Doc. Well, I guess Doc probably has higher dex than Hark. So, Doc, you are not surprised, though. So, what would you care to do?
I will. Let's see. I was just eating some nut butter, and we got attacked by Manticores, and they said you killed our father.
Yeah, effectively, I think you got you'll pay for killing our father.
And then you said, "No, I am your father."
I got you. Okay, I will just I guess I will pull out my bow and shoot a couple arrows at. I'm gonna go for the one that Vicious is in combat with.
It's technically flying over her head. All of them are flying above the ground to some level at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going after you.
I'll just shoot at the one that's flying over Vicious's head. Nice. First one was a crit 24 for 20 damage, and the second one is a 13 to hit.
So do we have haste now, or was that at the over at the end of the last combat?
It's gone.
Oh, I never got to use it.
That's part of why I was laughing about it, was because Manticores are low-ass level creatures.
I could tell bitch came at us out of the fucking hedges. I was ready to die.
Oh, I'm not saying it wasn't a good choice of how to treat the situation, but I was kind of giggling. So yeah, as you put those 2 arrows into it, one of them actually pierces through the shoulder blade of one of its wings, and it's going to crash down, and you're actually going to hear like the cracking of bone as it crashes into the ground right next to Vicious.
And then I'm just gonna yell out to anybody that's not like readied yet. Get to your feet. There's more.
So let's see. Let me have Hark, Sarad make perception checks here. 10 plus, and you're just gonna not be surprised when it comes to you.
Yeah.
So, Hark, you can just take a turn.
Oh, your boy is ready for this. How does one do the thing for fireball? Make the radius calculate.
It should be set up under the spells templates, under
Oh,
like
yeah, that was
character
it.
spells templates, and I believe it'll still be the 20-foot radius. Yeah.
Oh, so all 3, yeah.
I mean, if you move it up a little bit more, you can still get vicious, though. That's an option.
How about this?
That's even better.
Warmth is good.
So we'll go with that, and I'm gonna
What's
roll
your
it.
DC?
Good question. 15.
All right. So the one that is falling to the ground is going to take all of the brunt of this blast, and the other 2 are able to kind of pick themselves up and gain at least a little bit of ground away from the explosion. As the font of fire starts to build below them, they seem to have reacted fast enough to start to get away from it.
Fuck those guys. So 42 to the one that didn't do it, and then half of that 21 to the others.
So the one at Vicious's feet is actually going to just be consumed in fire, as its flesh and all of its fur is just burning up as this thing crashes right next to your actual fire pit. And it's basically a charred remain at Vicious's feet.
Hark's gonna go, ha ha, bang, bang! And because I had a long rest yet, I'm not gonna use my last spell slot. So, not a spell slot, sorry, my sorcery point. I'm just gonna roll with it, baby. Just go all loosey goosey and let somebody else have a turn.
4, 5, 6. So one into each of Verthis, Doc, and Hark as another creature flies up from the south. Gonna miss Verthis, gonna miss Doc, and then 18 versus Hark should hit for 7
Shield.
damage.
Shield on that bitch.
So as you bring up this magical shield of force around you, the piercing spike from its tail is just deflected off into the darkness around.
Nice try.
And it's going to go to Sarad.
I guess I'll do the same thing, except this time, because I haven't put on armor yet, right?
That's correct. Yep, you're being woken up without armor.
Or your fancy party clothes.
So, cool. Okay.
More just not making it reset at 8 hours every single time something happens.
Oh, okay, cheers.
I'll cast Cure Wounds on Doc.
Hey, good luck.
I guess I'll Sacred Flame the one that's
Don't believe you
This
can
one?
Sacred Flame?
oh really?
Nope, you've just used your action.
Oh, I did it the other way around. I was supposed to do
You
Healing
want
Word.
to
Okay,
do
got
Healing Word?
it. No, that's okay. I will cast Shillelagh and see what happens.
Do you want to close the distance? The two closest ones are 10 feet up, so there's no reason that you couldn't be able to hit at them.
No, I'll just wait right here for now.
And it's going to go to Hadar.
Oh, as I'm really looking bloody.
Don't forget that things that shoot stuff at you
Yeah,
are missiles.
I completely forgot about it. Well, I'm gonna use my Radiant Sunbolt to attack. This one to...
One northeast.
yeah.
19 hits.
20.
20 hits as well.
And that would be the end of my turn then. So.
The Manticore closest to Vicious is going to swoop down at her, and it is going to try to bite into her neck as it puts both of its claws like into her stomach and tries to tear her apart from her abdomen.
All right.
12 to hit with the bite, I believe, is going to miss. 7 with one of the slashes is going to miss, as it only gets a single claw into your abdomen. It's going to rend at you and do 9 slashing damage.
Okay, that just sounds really painful.
And then it will be on you.
All right, so obviously I'm going into a rage because that is really painful and I don't like it. Now, I have this cool javelin thing that I have not actually used. It says, when you hurl it and speak its command word, it transforms into a bolt of lightning, forming a 5 feet line 5 feet wide that extends out from you to a target within 120 feet. So I'm viewing that as having to be a straight line. Now, since these things are flying, can I aim at the one that is back a little bit and also hit the one that's touching me?
Line wise, I think you could probably get any 2 of these. I think you would be able to roll a perception. You'd be able to recognize that the 2, like the one closest to you and then the one a little bit further to the west, are the 2 most injured. But they are the lowest, whereas the one in the back is flying much higher.
All right, well, I'd be going for the closer to anyway. All right, so I am angry, and I will say lightning and throw my javelin of lightning.
Is your magic trigger word lightning?
Yes.
Sugar,
I like it.
sugar.
It's
If
hard
I
to
had
forget.
a dog, it would be dog, named dog.
I had a dog growing up called Kitten. It was very confusing, and that's 100% truth.
My friend had a cat named Snowball, and it was black.
Oh, like The Simpsons.
So I believe the 20 is to hit the closest one, just chucking the javelin. And then the 14 is the lightning damage.
The javelin is actually aimed at the second one away from me. And so the one that is next to me has to do a DC 13 dexterity saving throw, taking 46 lightning on a failed and half as much on a successful on a saving throw.
The lightning doesn't affect the one that you're aimed at?
No, it only affects the one in between.
I think it does affect your target and everything between you and the target.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe it does.
Which
Make
is
a
better.
Click
weapon attack
the
against
post to
target.
VTT for Javelin of Lightning.
Right. Okay. So reading it again, yes, both the creatures take 46 lightning. Oh, okay. I get it. The thing that's directly adjacent to me might save. The thing that it's actually aimed at definitely takes 46 lightning plus the regular javelin damage. So should I click on both?
Okay, so the target does not get a chance to dodge it. That's the one that failed. So the one closest to you is going to move aside as it's rending at you, and it's going to arc into the creature's flesh, and it's definitely going to burn it. And it's actually going to crumble to the ground as the electricity is arcing through its flesh.
Ah!
So that roll is red, but it's perfectly average.
Yeah, red just means there's a 1 in there. And green for damage just means that there's a max in there. And then the other one is taking 19.
Okay, I rolled that. Or should you roll that?
You already rolled it before, like with the initial roll. I needed to be able to read the actual javelin to know how to do it the correct way.
Oh, okay.
But like it already rolled the 4d6. Let's see. That one's the lightning's going to arc through the creature, and the javelin itself is going to stick into its side.
Is it still flying?
It is indeed still flying.
All right, I also thought the javelin came back, but I don't think it does.
Oh, it definitely does not come back. Javelin of Lightning is one of those magical weapons that every time you use it, you risk losing it.
But it looks really cool.
And that's all that matters.
I mean, barbarians don't usually go for style points, but lightning is just fun. And it's dark, so it shows up even better.
You need to do a little with your free action, do a little anime like superhero landing type thing.
It is going to turn midair as the javelin sinks into its chest, and with its tail between its legs, it's going to shoot 3 spikes into Vicious. I believe all are going to hit. The lowest one is a 15.
15 hits.
So 11 will be 5, 8 will be 4, and 7 will be 3. So 5, 4, 3, 12 damage total, piercing.
Okay, still standing.
And it is going to start to fly away.
Come back, you coward! Bring my javelin back, too! Damn it, that's the first time I used that thing.
You scared the fuck out of it and bottled.
Did you really make it fly away with a legendary javelin in it?
And it's
Yes,
gonna go to
apparently I
Veritas.
did.
They're intelligent creatures. These things, the other one was gonna flee when Hadar stunned it.
It's fucking harsh, man.
Got to use it once.
I mean, do I know roughly how high this remaining Manticore is flying off the ground?
It's probably about twice your height. No, it's less. Yeah, twice your height. You're about 8 feet tall, 7, 8 feet.
Closer to 7.
That still works. 7 or 8 feet. It's about twice your height.
I'm gonna kind of free action drop. Well, here's the first question. Was I laying down at this point still? Because I've been skipped over a few rounds because of surprise and so forth.
No, because you woke up. That first round that you were surprised was you waking up.
Yeah. Right. So I'm awake, but I'm still prone, right?
I believe that's correct, yeah. I believe you can't move when you're surprised.
Right. I'm gonna use my object interaction to pull out my hand crossbow. I'm gonna spend half my movement to stand up, and then I'm gonna shoot the remaining Manticore with my hand crossbow.
$16 hits.
Awesome damage.
16 would appear to hit.
And I end my turn.
And it's going to go to Doc.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and. So, is there still like some static electricity illuminating that Manticore that's trying to flee?
That sounds good.
Okay, I'm gonna try to lock my eye on the Manticore, and I will fire at it.
Sixteen hits.
I'm gonna use my last superiority die to try to do a drop on it.
It's not actually holding it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was gonna work or not. If it was like the type of thing where it might like just paw at it and knock it out of itself, or if it had to be like a conscious like effort to hold it. But
Do you have the
I
thing
think
to
it was
make
worth a
it go?
try.
Do you have the thing to make it go prone?
No, I don't have that.
Yeah, so I mean, you can go for more damage. It was fucked up enough that it started to run.
Yeah, well, it's worth a try regardless. I didn't think it was gonna work, but I figured it was worth a shot. So 22 total damage then, and then
Wait,
does
shouldn't
it
that be 26 total?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I looked at the hit roll. Yeah, 26 total. Can I tell if it's fucked up or is it too far away to tell?
You're pretty confident that it's fucked up. It's definitely pretty far away to get a good idea.
Okay,
You could
I'm
do.
gonna shoot it one. Okay.
You could do like a medicine check at disadvantage, or like a nature at disadvantage.
16 medicine.
It's
What I'm looking to determine is do I need to use sharpshooter or do I think I can drop it with a regular shot?
I think it's pretty safe for you to assume it's pretty severely injured. Like your last arrow seems to have sunk in like near its spine.
Okay, I'm gonna just go regular shot then.
Wonderbar.
You're turning into me, mate.
Oh, your second arrow, you let me move in front of everybody so I don't hit them. Your second arrow, you go to pull it like too quick and just kind of like plop it off of the string, trying to do a quick little rapid fire as the creature is plummeting from the air and it slams into the ground dead.
Hey, Grey Lady, come out your spear.
Then it's going to go to Hark.
So they're all dead, aren't they? Or is there one left?
Do you see any alive?
The one at the bottom looks alive.
Sounds like it's alive.
Alright, let's mess this guy up. Firebolt. An 18 to hit for 11?
18
Well,
will hit.
Or 15. In that case, then I'll spend my last sorcery point, and I will use Hasten Spell to cast it again.
Do you need another long rest to get that back?
I'm literally capped out now on all my sorcery points and my level 4 spell slot, so I will need a long rest to get that back yet.
You all have not long rested, though.
Exactly. This is my last point before I've. If something wakes us up again, all I'm going to do is just give it an evil look.
That's great.
So second is the literally
Same thing.
exact same. Yeah, and that ends my turn.
So we had the dad and the kids, and like if the extended relatives show up, yeah, you're just not going to be involved.
Wait, can you actually... Isn't Quicken 2?
So I thought it was 1 for a cantrip. Let me just double check.
Though you might be able, I think, to actually twin the firebolt and get the same thing anyway.
Yep, sorry, it's 2 for any spell on quickened, but yes, you're absolutely right. So I would have to use the 1 for twin spell, and I can do it then. I couldn't do it if I use quickened. So you're right, thank you. So it's the same again, but twinned instead of quickened.
Yeah. Let's see. So this one, 5 is 1, 2. Is going to shoot into Doc. I think 2 are going to hit. The lowest one is a 20. As it
definitely
shoots
hit.
little spikes at you. For 9 and an 11.
Affirmative.
And then it too is going to begin to fly away. And depending how you all play things, it's going to go to Sarad.
We don't need to chase it, right?
Can't talk, it's not my turn.
Oh, I was asking the party.
It's not your party's turn, we're not allowed, sorry.
Oh, okay.
You decide on your own back.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess I'll hold my action. If it reappears, I will Sacred Flame it.
Yeah, like any speech that would be outside of your turn would be stuff that's like campfire talk. So I think you would have a pretty good concept that most of the time the party does just kind of talking strategy like while you all are hanging out. So there's certain amounts of you guys can chat up those things, but you can't necessarily make strategy about the current moment outside of your own like turn on initiative. But you can definitely hold the Sacred Flame for essentially if it turns to become a threat again. And I'll go to Hadar.
Good. So, is there still anything to fight, Noah? Well,
It is effectively the fleeing Manticore and then all of you.
how far is it away from me? Is it too far away to attack, or?
About 90 feet.
Oh, that's too far away from my attacks that I have on me.
Yeah, but can't you move 30 feet forwards and then use your punch, your Dragon Ball punch?
Well, is it 90 feet in the my Dragon Ball punch only has 30 feet range, so
Oh, I thought it was 60, sorry.
I'm just gonna ready the Sunbolt if it comes into my reach.
Vicious, any thoughts?
Is the one that's alive the one with my javelin in it? I had to take a call, so I don't know.
No, Doc down that one.
Oh, okay. Well, I definitely want to go find my javelin.
Berthus?
I mean, how light is it out right now?
It's kind of at twilight, or wait, twilight's night. It's at dawn. So there's enough light that you can see this thing flying in the air. It's probably more of like a silhouette than it is like lit.
Yeah, I mean, let's see, what's here? 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. Yeah, there's no, unless I dash, there's no way to get in range of this thing.
Doc?
I'll summon my inner nut butter chi and try to shoot it out of the sky.
What?
Yeah, a ball.
The power of the nut butter. Let's see, the 21 will. Seems pretty injured, but it does continue to fly off. Hark.
It's still 90 feet away, sorry?
I mean, it was 90 from Hadar, but you guys all also have rulers, too.
Can't
Yeah,
count.
I think it's 90 against you as well.
Right, move to here anyway and I'll firebolt it. $12 to hit for 24, that's going to miss, I'm sure.
Oh, it's going to miss, yep. It's going to fly away.
If I'd had my item that I was one, like, out of 100 roll off, would I have hit it then?
I don't know what that means.
Remember the item that I nearly got, but I didn't get because he asked for a 28 roll out of 100 and I got a 27. It was a plus.
I don't remember what item that we talked about. Like, that's what I mean.
Oh, okay. It was a wand or a staff or some shit that gave me +2 to damage rolls. Not damage rolls, attack rolls.
There's no way I would have given you a +2.
Right, it might have been a +1 then, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, +2s are definitely well into the teens, in my opinion. So cleaning up this little combat here, you guys will have a little bit more time that you'll need to rest. Verthis will essentially be able to sleep and kind of get back to things to be able to watch, so the watch shouldn't actually be difficult. And in the long run, nothing is going to happen, so everybody can take a long rest here.
Yay.
Alright.
Okay, it says recover 1 level of exhaustion during this rest, requires food and drink.
Yeah, you've been eating and drinking.
So we wake up all better.
Not sure we offered in the midst of all the commotion, but there's still plenty of nut butter left. It's high protein, all organic.
Well, you look like you enjoyed the last lot, so you help yourself. Yes, I was watching.
Don't suppose you noticed this then. Clearly works. And you look down and Doc's got a bulge in his pants.
Interesting place to store your gold. Not a lot of it though, looks like a very small quantity.
You look over at Hadar and see if he does as well.
Everybody else wakes up, and 3 of your party are all sharing crotch stories with each other. What would the party like to do?
Would you say we woke up in the glory of the night before this morning? In the glory of battle this morning?
Definitely some kind of glory going on.
Well, so we wake up, and I'm pretty sure we need to go back to the lodge and tie in with our host to talk about getting these flying fools to take us to the Sky Castle. Anyone oppose that? I bet Hadar's going to say he wants breakfast.
No, that sounds good to me.
Alright, do we take half an hour for Hadar to increase his BMI?
Ron, you here?
Increase my BMI. Oh no.
Body mass index, it means to eat.
I believe it would be better for Hayden to get it a little bit lower.
Yeah, I mean, Hadar, haven't you been eating this whole time?
It might slow your roll speed down though.
You mean because I don't have the right diameter to draw perfectly?
True, but like the higher your diameter, the faster your top speed, but the lower your diameter, the faster your acceleration. So swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, I mean, the higher it is, it's more like a boulder rolling to you. And it's lower, it's more like a small ball coming to you.
I force a ration into Haydar's mouth to wake him up.
Hey, that's gonna wake up.
Rise and shine, Roundy.
You don't get an answer from Hader because he's eating.
Blink twice if you're choking.
He blinks once.
Blink once if
Wow.
you.
You're like really good at handling Hadar, Hark.
Yeah, not my job though. Not my job. Looks like your job. You were closest. You deal with it. I'm going over here.
My bad. I stepped away mid-roll conversation to pour some coffee. Was there anything important that actually happened?
You have to go and do all that last 5 minutes again.
Yeah, word for word.
I will pass on the roll conversation.
Haydar has now consumed one ration.
Yeah, he's not happy.
Can we use what's his name, Atkin, to cast summon food and water, whatever it was?
You guys are inviting a lich to the party?
I've changed my mind very suddenly for no reason.
Wonder what color Apkin is. A purple lich has entered the game.
So we officially have the benefits of a long rest.
Yep, that's correct. A little later in the morning, you probably had to sleep for like 10 hours instead of 8, but you were able to pick it up and kind of continue on. Everyone is all set to go and start to head back to the lodge. You probably wouldn't have camped far off from like the stables off on the north end of the lodge. And you see in the process of kind of coming out of the woods, Trepson seems to be just outside of the stables, kind of doing his thing, and he seems to be also kind of the caretaker of some of the wyverns. But the lodge itself seems to be calm and at peace for the morning. You guys can head all inside and see what you can see, or you can do what you'd like to do.
If Trepson notices us when we're walking up, Doc will give him a nod and then walk inside.
Seems to kind of catch his eye for a moment, and he looks off for a second, and then kind of lets it pass. So entering in through the kitchen, you all would see a group of about 6 or 8 kobolds kind of running around the kitchen preparing foods. There's a few humans who are actually traying up some of the goods and kind of walking about the actual lodge itself, but most of the humans seem to be going towards that same room that you've spoken with Talis in a few times now.
Don't suppose you're pointing us in the direction of your master. Talking to you, you cold-blooded rats. That's all I'll say to the kobolds.
Some of the kobolds kind of look up at you and kind of sneer a little bit. I think in general they would just kind of point you off towards the sitting room. I think in particular they'd probably curse at you in Draconic.
Doc will sneer back at him and say, feelings mutual, and then I'll go the way they point me to.
So entering into the sitting room, you all find Talis at the table, sitting at the head of the table, going through some different paperwork of sorts. And as she sees you all enter, she kind of folds up the actual codex and kind of sets it into a satchel that she has at her side, and pulls a plate forward, pours herself a glass of wine, and kind of just waves her hand out for you all to seat yourselves and join her. Are you prepared to head off? Storm the castle for what it is?
Much obliged. Feel like we're probably as ready as we'll ever be. And then I'll kind of look her in the eye and say, assuming it's a one-way trip, and then I'm just trying to gauge her reaction if it seems like she thinks we're gonna live or not.
Well, it's one way as far as taking wyverns will be. You are likely not going to be able to control them yourselves. So, yes, it is one way of sorts. Otherwise, you can do an insight check. She kind of seems like she has 0 fucks to give whether you do live or die.
Yeah, I saw this really funny sticker on a car. Well, I thought it was funny. It said 0, and there was a picture of a fox and to give. You have to see it. I mean, it looked really cool.
We actually have quite a few foxes in the forest around here.
Like, you know, woman, right. Not dragons, little dragons to get in there. How are we getting back out again? We haven't talked how we're going to get back out. So, what's your plan?
Dear Lord, if I had heard you speak, I would have never sent for you from the Zentarum in the first place.
Yeah, but if you knew that, you knew I've got no intention of dying, so how are we getting back out?
You could always jump.
Onto the back of a ride you provided us?
Oh, I was thinking to your death.
I don't think the Zentarum would approve of that, do you? You killing one of their agents in the field, not providing him with a means when he's trying to help you?
Yes, I agree. Nobody would care.
You've called my bluff and I respect that.
You'll certainly have to find your own ways out.
Well, if you were me and you were going in there, what would you do? What would you recommend? You've been there before, right?
Resmir has limited my presence there, but I have been there in the past to care for the wyverns and to visit my dragon friend. But for me, I don't go there to kill anyone, so I usually leave the way I came.
But you have been, so you've been around, you've seen the place, and you love dragons. So let's distill that down to its essential facts. And what have you seen when you were there? Like, what's the layout? Where do we get in and out? Is it confusing, or is it pretty straightforward? What are the main rooms? What are the main points of entrance and points of egress?
There's a castle, point of egress being wyverns, or the land if it's currently on the land.
Currently on the land, while this thing moves around.
She shakes her head in disappointment.
I knew that already, I was just testing you. You failed, by the way.
I'm going to turn to anyone who's looking at me from the party, and I'm just going to give them a really subtle thumbs up.
I'll give you the thumbs up back. Would Doc or anyone else in the party have knowledge of the Zentarum or know what that is or who they are?
I think Sarad would, based on her work.
In general, I would say most anybody has at least a vague understanding of the Black Network. And then a lot of you, I do not see a reason why you wouldn't in particular have perhaps little bits of extra knowledge. But I don't think they are a secret society so much as they are like an underground society.
In all honesty, the Harpers are more secretive than the Zents.
I suppose any further preparation is probably in vain. Perhaps we should robe up and be on our way.
Well, she honestly didn't want to give us any more information, even though she's been there before. I mean, how much do you want us to really save this dragon?
The dragon is perfectly safe if you all do not go there. I am asking you to disrupt Rezmir, and if you would be so kind, to leave my dragon alone.
So what are you doing in the meantime then? You're going to come along in secret behind us and then fly away on the dragon once it's safe when we killed all the people around it, or what? I don't get your plan.
I'm giving you access to what you need in order to help me.
Alright, fair enough. I take that. I accept that. You've successfully undergone one of my famous interrogations. Well done. You can now call yourself Talis the Inquisitor Survivor, if you want.
I truly feel as if my mind has been probed.
I didn't even use any of my spells.
Yes, you should be rather proud of yourself. You're officially goat-proof.
And here I thought you cast the spell Migraine.
Nah, that's just you dehydrated, love. Have some water. Or it's knocking about with kobolds, innit?
So if you are all ready, she will usher you out to the wyverns and to Trepsin.
Sounds good to me.
We have 5 wyverns here. They can carry 2 of you each if you desire, but it is up to you how you would like to arrive there. They will fly and go to their stable at my command. Other than that, you need only be prepared with the banner released and unfurled as you fly up to the castle. And then upon landing, you will have to pass the password.
Hey, did I get all my javelins back?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because I totally would have gone looking for them, especially the fancy one.
If you ever want to leave it behind, you can just delete it.
So I understand that just the sight of the banner alone with the password will let us in, but have you disclosed that already?
The banner will allow you to land without being shot down from the sky. Once you are in range of voice, somebody will require the password of you. It's quite simple. You need only bow and worship Tiamat.
And what would you normally say when you're worshipping Tiamat? Like, oh, hail the five-headed one.
Only if you want to be the headless one.
Alright, well then you didn't really answer my question, you just gave me sass. So what would you say?
Are you capable of reading and writing?
I've been known to both read and write from time to time, yeah.
Well, perhaps if I tell you again, you'll remember to write it down?
Yeah, but I told you before I'm pretty dyslexic, so I struggle with reading my own handwriting.
She's gonna pat Hark on the head. Did anyone else take the time to remember the passcode that I told you would get you to the castle?
No, I wrote down that there were passcodes.
Yeah, I was taking notes, but I don't have a passcode on it.
Oh, the only thing I have written down that I'm not sure what it is the word Severn, but I thought it was a name.
Yeah, Severin's one of the Wyrmspeakers. Tiamat, our mother, our strength. And she kind of lifts up Hark by the chin a little bit, like with her pointer finger. Can you remember that?
Yeah, but just say it one more time for the people that weren't listening. I'm looking at that grey woman over there.
Good, excellent. Well, you all can be on your way.
I think she likes me.
You are a testament to everything that is wrong with the breeding of humans and elves.
Damn.
What race is she?
She's half-elf.
Well, half elf and half elf equals what? Another one.
That's some self-loathing issues.
Might sooner find yourself castrated.
You should have seen what we did to the Manticore, love. You should have seen what these two ate. Fucking disgusting.
I don't need to hear anymore.
They
All right.
called it nut butter, but
Yeah.
trust me, it's not.
Yeah, those two ate balls.
It was nut butter, all right.
She turns around and she is walking away from the stables.
I said they ate balls. They ate balls, love. They ate balls.
She actually turns around and she walks back to the stables. Are you all on the wyverns?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, why the hell not?
He's going to pull a little whistle from within her tunic and blow like a 5-chimed like little musical note. And the wyverns are all going to start to flap their wings slowly as they start to gain a little bit of elevation, and then they will take off and start to fly to the southeast.
Which way? Which direction is the castle in? Is it southeast?
Yep, southeast of you all.
I forgot to ask Talis how you bring the castle down, but there we go.
She told you that as well.
Yeah, but I forgot to write it down also.
Exactly.
I know you said 2 of us could fit on each wyvern. I do not want to ride with Arlisle, just in case. I have a weird feeling.
Arlisle's not there.
See, I know I had a weird feeling.
But it was a good call there, mate. If he was still knocking around, the fact that he'd been so quiet for so long would be suspicious.
How many wyverns would you all like to take?
How many are there?
5.
I'd like to take all 5, please.
So
And we'll
one pair of you needs to double up.
who are the lightest 2? I feel like
Not
I'm
me,
pretty
I
light.
get more.
Yeah, you'll be heavy. Verfus is heavy. Haydar's
I'm wearing
heavy.
heavy armor, but other than that, I'm probably light.
It probably makes you heavy, to be fair. So, Doc, how much do you weigh?
I'm probably lightest. I could double up with whoever.
All right, but I'm going in at the front, so you. No wait, I'll go in at the back, so you can't touch my butt.
He's freshly Manticore balled up too.
Yeah, I don't want to be
It's
behind
got all
him.
that virility.
I
You
was
definitely don't want to ride bitch with me right now.
I was thinking more about the breath. Yeah, so I'll double up with Doc then. What are we doing, Doc? Are you top or bottom?
You better ride in the back. I don't want you getting speared.
Alright, if anyone's gonna get speared, it's you at on top then. Fair enough.
So as you all fly south for about an hour and a half or so, you start to see a castle off in the distance inside of the actual mountains with a small village to the east of it.
Sorry to interrupt, but whilst we're doing this, do we get any sense of bearings as to where we are after? I mean, no, I'm fine. Hark's fine because he travelled there not through teleportation. But for the rest of the party, I should say, do they, whilst getting this bird's eye view of the landscape, get any bearing of where they are in relation to where they teleported from?
I don't believe anybody in particular has this area in their kind of backgrounds. But everybody is welcome to do a nature check if you would like to try to gain a sense of yourself.
Oh, and then why not?
You literally walked there, Hark, so you know it's the Grey Peak Mountains.
Alright, I just wanted to join in and feel included.
So as you start to see this tower like perched alongside the mountains, you start to come into range of this castle, and it seems to be over top of a small village, and it's actually about midday that you guys are coming into this, and you actually see that there is like clouds and storms kind of building around this place, and slowly over the next hour it actually gets more and more obscured the closer that you get to it.
So, like on that photo, it's not flying; it's on the side of a mountain. Is this castle flying, or is it attached?
Right between along that hour of flight. When you first saw it, it seemed quite truly attached to the mountains. And after a while, you lose sight of it and can't really tell.
Some of that magic shit.
So after about shortly after the midday, flying overhead. Yeah, actually I have to do this differently.
I kind of thought it'd be after midday by the time we got going, but with all those broken long rest things.
Yeah, it was like 10 o'clock when you guys kind of got going. And the travel by Wyvern is much quicker, but it is still a ways away from you. So you're kind of like midday when you got within sight of it. And then it was over that next hour of travel as you were closing the last bit of distance that it started to be shrouded by mist and fog. And then again, vaguely like beyond high sun, that you actually fly above and get a top-down view of from the wyverns as they start to circle in wide circles, slowly dropping towards the castle, but you are still quite a ways up in the sky.
And from your description, is it safe to say we're getting the impression like this thing might be engaging, like taking off right now?
I think it is safe for you to recognize that the height, once you are flying above it and can see top down, it is much higher than it was when you flew towards it. That as it shrouded itself in mist, it was probably taking off.
Thanks for the help.
So as you all start to wind around, it's about 15 or so minutes as the wyverns start to come closer and closer, and you can see as the perspective kind of widens that northern tower is the tallest. The tower with the roof to the west is the second highest, and then there are two other towers that really kind of come up, but they're not necessarily nearly as tall as those other two. That main top section that's kind of like coffin shaped is probably a good 100 or so feet above that smaller southern section, which is down lower. And then in like the circling, you see that lower section is the main gate, where it actually has like a road that kind of runs off into an abyss of sky where it apparently took off from the ground.
Are the grids to scale?
They're 10-foot grids. I wasn't able to take the time. Like, it would have been a fucking massive map to make a 5-foot grid, so I had to do 10 foots. I really wasn't happy with the maps that I could find for Skyreach, but I think this is the best kind of like fallback for it. But yeah, essentially, if you measure here, I think it's pretty solid to say that the main is about 100 foot, yeah. And then the smaller one are like 30. Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
And kind of winding around the castle as you're getting closer and closer, you spot that there seems to be another lower section where there's just like a mass of ice and there's a big opening to the north. And then there are two other areas that there's very like clear glass-like ice that seems to be shrouding off different living spaces. And shortly after that, the wyverns are going to set down as you all land in the lower section, and the wyverns start to walk towards their stables.
And do we see like somebody waiting to greet us, or like somebody that looks like they work there or guarding there?
Or like a Wizard of Oz gate?
So you guys should have a limited view now to just the lower gate yard, or the
Yep.
lower yard. And you're basically on the western side of that as you land. There seem to be ogres on the walls. You can see a few of these ogres at each of the towers. They appear to be manning the ballistae and paying no attention to you all at present.
Was Trepson an ogre?
He was a troll, for what it's worth. I'm trying to do everything that I can to stop using words. It, like the names, it actually just slipped to say ogre instead of like massive orc-like creatures almost. But I'm trying to be better at that. Describing their massive bodies, very large creatures with extremely large arms, walking around otherwise rather naked with little bits of fur kind of covering parts of their body. And they just kind of seem to be going about their business, not paying any attention to you all. The wyverns basically walk themselves into their stables. What are you all doing as the wyverns start to return to their stables?
I guess looking around to see if there's any obvious place where new recruits should go. And also checking out possible escape routes.
Roll a perception.
What was that?
There seems to be another stables in this area across the way to the east. There's a large gate that is essentially open to the north of you that seems to be into a keep. And then that actually goes up about like 80 to 100 feet in an actual structure. And you can actually see that tower above you all at about that 100-foot mark. There's the main gate that is south of you, and then each of the actual turrets, there's 6 of them where you are, have can't say small. They have doors that are approximately 30 feet tall and about 15 feet wide. Doorways more than doors. There's not actual doors on these, but all of the turrets seem to have. Yeah, I think you all got last week that this is a dragon or a giant's castle.
Doc will just say to the rest of the group, so far so good. Looks like it's working. Everybody act natural. Now I guess I will start making my way towards like the main gate.
So in particular, part of what I was asking is what you are all doing as the wyverns were heading into that stable. Because at some point, the wyverns are going to get into the stable, and you're going to see that there is an ogre inside who is placing them into their stables and taking the actual harnesses and
Does he look friendly?
saddles off. He looks like an ogre. He's a very big creature with like a misshapen face. Doesn't look terribly intelligent.
Okay.
He doesn't
Well,
look like he's swinging anything at you.
Okay, so I guess I'll follow the wyverns in and say, hello, we're new recruits. Where do we go?
Give me a moment here. I'm gonna actually take a bio break myself, and we will return from a break in a second here.
Okay.
I've got to love that the moment you say the first thing, it's hello, we're new recruits. What do we do?
Wait, is that not what we were supposed to do?
I mean, it kind of lays all your cards out pretty quickly, doesn't it? But you had the initiative to do
I thought
something.
that was obvious.
No one else did anything, so you're all good.
Yeah, you guys should never let me talk first.
You should never let us talk first, otherwise we'd already be in combat.
I think I'm just prolonging the inevitable.
The wyverns were going into the hut on the east, right? Landed in the west. So when we escape, we need to get to the east side to get our wyverns, then cross the whole courtyard again to the west to fly away.
Yeah, maybe we should like feed something to them so that they like us.
I mean, one Hadar should feed them all pretty well, right? Oh, Doc, did you save any of those balls?
What?
Hadar ate most of the balls without me looking, but I suppose we could probably feed the wyverns this ogre after we have to kill it in a moment when it realizes that we're up to no good.
How many
I
balls
don't
does one wyvern have?
Oh no.
And I'm gonna look at the. Psst, don't say what we plan. What? Psst. Look, stay in character. You never know when someone's listening.
The problem with taking notes on the map is that I have, I think, 7 layers of this map. So probably yes. Now, I'm not saying it might not be a reason that I should just separate this out into a bunch of different maps instead of layering them, but that's at least the initial thing that I think might be problematic about taking notes on the map. Although, if you write stuff into the sky, that shouldn't be problematic.
Hey, Teresa, how did you type in there?
Oh, in the little toolbox on the upper left-hand side, I clicked on the I button, and then at the bottom it says text.
The thing on the left, like where we draw the lines?
Yeah. Yeah, so under where it says draw shape, freehand, polygon line, and then text. If you hover over
Oh,
that
okay. I
eye.
thought you meant like an eyeball.
I see. You're so in character.
Yeah, that must be it. Cool. I just tried it. It works. That's pretty nice. I guess that's more of a DM tool.
Most maps, it's very useful for you all to note things like that. For how bad this group is about remembering things, I feel like writing down the passcode might be a bit much, but
I have written down Eye of the Dragon, Thrill of the Fight. Is that not right?
That's awesome. We should definitely do that. We'll go in like air punching.
Ogre's like, you need staircases. We've got stairs.
Point me in the direction of your biggest set. I've got something to accomplish. Perhaps it's time for a montage.
Even Rocky had a montage.
Oh, I'm here whenever.
Yeah, I think at this point, I've heard Jamie and you, and then obviously Teresa, both replying in both ways.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I'm
here
sorry.
too.
I never left.
And what was the other one? Jan there?
Yeah, I'm here too.
So I think there's a Teddy.
Sure.
All right, we just don't tell you anything.
So I think the reply Teresa is going to get is going to be like quizzical look. And then the ogre's going to all hail Tiamat.
And I'll say, Tiamat, our mother, our strength.
And then it's going to look back to the wyverns and kind of continue on ignoring you at that point.
Oh man. So no harm, no foul, guys. I don't know where we go.
So does the stables, do we get a pretty good idea that it's basically a dead end?
Well, what do you mean?
There's no doors leading from the stables like anywhere else. It looks like we have to kind of go back out to the main.
Yeah. The stables, like, there's an inside to the stables, but other than that, like, they're just like entrances and then a hallway that kind of like runs in front of each of the actual stables.
Doc will just, as the ogre walks away, I guess, like unassumingly, like kind of put his, like raise his shoulders up and say, shall we proceed? And start leading towards like those doors close by.
So there's doors to each of the turrets, and then doors to like the southern gate or the northern gate.
I'm thinking follow the footprints like north, east from where we're at to that set of doors right there by that pile of wood.
I'm not entirely sure what those are meant to be, but those are not doors as far as I'm concerned. But like, we're going for that's the door that you would have north of you.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I just feel like we would follow the most traversed path, assuming that people park at the valet and then head in the like main entrance.
Now that I think about it, I actually wonder if this map meant to get rid of the 2 layers of the gates. But we're going to roll with it like this, how I described it. That this is a lower platform that you all are in. So you can head towards the turrets or towards that northern gate.
Assuming nobody else has a different perspective, Doc will just keep going.
I forgot what you described, so where are you keeping going to?
Oh, towards the main entrance, not towards the tower.
All right, the main entrance is technically south of you. Like, are you going north or south?
Can we just go to the north doors?
Yes, you can 100% go to the north doors. You guys know that that entrance is the main gate, and it just leads out. Like, off into an abyss of sky.
Oh yeah, sorry. When I said main entrance, I was like thinking like not the little door right next to us, the one next to that. Not like back off of a cliff, like into the wilderness.
That's why I was trying to get you away from the idea of main and go back to cardinal directions are always what I want for descriptors, because the cardinal directions always work. So as you all walk through this gate, you see a small room in front of you, vaguely human size. Things are a little bit larger than specifically human. There is a spiral staircase that leads up into the actual castle. You see a fire lit in the back. There's some various stores around and then a few tables, but it otherwise seems to be a rather empty room at present.
Does anyone else find it strange that nobody came out to greet us?
Yes. Very bad hospitality.
We can send somebody to try to kill you.
I would imagine that anybody that makes this far is supposed to be here. There's enough turrets out there that if we were a threat, I think they'd have shot us down by now. But that's just my opinion from a military standpoint.
And that's so valid, but like also like shouldn't there be like a welcoming committee or something?
Don't worry, I will create the welcoming committee for you right now.
If there's a welcoming committee, I imagine it's probably a you're not welcome committee. Doc will light a cigarette.
Who are we talking to right now?
An inanimate voice that is not part of this game.
Oh, okay.
Well, I would think they'd want new recruits to do things they don't want to do.
Yeah, all the grunt work.
You all hear as there is a massive crash behind you.
I'm going to go further into the castle away from the crash.
It's a dragon! And those are 10-foot squares, so holy shit.
Is that door on the north part? Is that where it is?
No, from that room, there is the door to the south, and then there are the stairs up. I think there's actually...
I heard you say stairs, but I didn't make out it was that little spiral staircase. Sorry, my bad.
There's also actually a door to the east at the entrance of that room.
Well, I'm not going outside. Do I have to go outside to get to the east door?
Only if you need to speak with the welcoming committee.
Nope. I'm going on the stairs, up the stairs. I think the best thing to do is try and be sneaky. But if anyone sees us, look like we belong here. And is it assumed that we either brought the robes with us and we could put them on real quick, or we put them on before we came, I guess?
I 100% assume that you guys put the robes on before you fucking left.
Yeah, because we're flying in, we want to look right.
Like, I don't know if you guys gathered in plain English, but you are pretending to be cultists right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, I figured with the banner and the wyverns that was like pretty much, but I didn't know if we actually put on the robes or what. But yeah, as long as we have them on for sure now.
I wanted to stress that also with the, hello, we're new. Can you point us in a direction? Like, no. Pretend you are cultists and you know what you're doing.
Well, yeah, but if we're new, we wouldn't know.
And you can go with that route if you would like to. Talis did not give you information for very particular reasons. So you can walk up the next level of the stairs and you kind of come out on top of that turret, and you are overlooking the southern courtyard, and you see the actual roofs of these different areas, and then you start to see kind of, I think it would be level almost with much of the upper courtyard, but those stairways like ascend about the 100 feet up before you kind of come up on like a little mezzanine almost.
So as we kind of look out, do we actually see anybody currently, like ogres or otherwise, like manning the areas, or does it look like the towers go up higher than the level we're on?
Yeah, really, you already saw that there are ogres on each of the turrets. And the turrets would actually go up above the level that you were on, but you would still be able to see them from the height that you're on.
I don't suppose anyone has that map with them.
An ogre,
And does, you said, oh, so
an ogre is going to walk past you and kind of like nudge you to the side as it starts to walk down the stairs and go into that room below you.
On which direction did that one come from?
The east.
Okay. And then, do I have an idea based on what we saw flying in? Does that next, if we kept going up from here, is that just going to be like a tower, or is that like connected to the main area, main castle? Like, I'm trying to figure out basically how to get to like the main castle as opposed to just going to the turrets.
You're going in the right direction from what you could tell. That this part of the keep is essentially the intermediary between the lower levels and the upper levels from what you saw from above on the wyverns.
Okay, I got you. And the ogre went down, so I guess we'll just keep going in that same direction, up.
Yeah, imagine this little part of the tower is the black gate from what's the goddamn name of the show?
Oh, Lord of the Rings?
No, that was actually incorrect to drop the black gate. Damn it, the Watchers on the Wall from Ice
Game
and
of
Fire.
Thrones?
Yeah, Game of Thrones. It's like this whole gate is like a massive keep, but it's just like level on the other side kind of thing.
Okay, cool. That gives me a way better idea. So yeah, we'll just keep going that way then.
So once you kind of pop out on top there, you can see you're probably about like 20 feet over the actual inner courtyard of the upper courtyard. There's a couple of staircases east and west of this part of the keep and lead into that main courtyard.
Anyone have any suggestions?
Go along with it, man. Last time I tried something, got us all in a load of trouble. So
Complete utter silence tells me that I should end sessions earlier while people are still active. Because I feel like everybody's asleep.
I am here.
yeah, I'm here. I literally just don't want to, make any poor calls or whatever, and get us into any predicaments again like I did last time. So I'm just trying to go
If you
along with
guys
it.
don't make choices, I place the dragon in front of you. So...
No, I'm not saying we're not going to make choices. I'm just saying I'm not going to stick my head out at the moment because I took a big part of the last session with my choices and my decisions. So I want someone else to have a go. That's all.
So you're kind of overlooking this courtyard, and you see buildings to the sides, some buildings to the north around the main keep. Stairs up to one of the like side passages off to the west of you. From this perspective would kind of be one of the first times that you see there is a massive tunnel into the ice and stone in the northeast. And that's next to one thing that I never noticed looking at the map for many hours. There's a fucking frozen giant hand in the center of the map.
Oh,
The-
okay,
the-
but we don't see any people?
You see, like, ogres moving about. There's definitely people occasionally walking here and there.
Are there anyone near us that would hear us, like, if we talk quietly?
It depends what you guys are getting at. Most of the time, there is like constant movement. If you look around yourself right now, there seems to be a few ogres who are nearby. One's walking up to you, and it's going to say, "All hail Tiamat."
Tiamat, our mother, our strength. And Taco Bauer said,
And they kind of walk past and start to head down the stairs.
Why don't we just go take a look at the hand?
Maybe that's
Talk
why it's
to
called
the hand.
Skyreach. Because it's got this hand in it, in the sky.
What was the first thing that you said there, Hark?
Maybe that's why it's called Skyreach. Because there's a big hand in it, and it's like it's reaching the sky.
It's a good idea.
Either that, or they're into some kinky shit.
So, heading off towards the hand, you all notice there are a few people to the west of you all. They seem to be moving different, like chests and things, like wood boxes, like large storage boxes, very similar to what some of you would have seen along the caravan trail. But you can head up to the hand and investigate, do what you all would care to do. What are you interested in figuring out?
I mean, I'm not too interested in the hand. I mean, I can take a cursory glance at him. I was just kind of using that as an excuse to possibly look at the entrance to the cave in the northeast.
I'll look over at Teddy's human form and then look over at the cave. And Doc will say, if I had to guess, I'd say that's the fastest way to dragon.
I mean, how big is this entrance to this cave? Is it something a dragon could fit through?
It's over about 20 feet wide and probably a little higher than 20 feet tall.
And is it like clean looking, like man or ogre made, or does it look like it could potentially be like dug by a dragon? I guess realistically, does
investigation.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to see if it kind of reminds me of like an icy version of the black dragon one that we saw in the swamp. 18.
What do you mean by the black dragon one? The black dragon's den would have been blight, like death.
Oh yeah, I just meant like that's the only actual like dragon cave I would have ever seen in my life. So does it look like, you know, similar enough to that I would assume this is like a white dragon or an ice dragon's?
I don't think you all ever would have like specifically spotted like the actual entrance to the black dragon's lair. I think it was more that the telescope was focused into the blight. I'm pretty sure that's how I would have described it. I'm not entirely sure if I went off one way or another. But as you kind of look into this, there are signs that this was somewhat like built into the stone, but it is now frozen with ice. And while much of the ice is vaguely like clean, it is very clear blue ice, and there are certainly parts of it that are like stalagmites kind of sticking out from the roof.
Oh, I don't know about this. Just a guess. I guess you probably know better than I do.
I mean, I can do an intelligence check. I mean, what are we trying to figure? Are we talking about size or just the meaning of the entrance?
Oh, I was just assuming that it was like the entrance that the dragon uses.
Sure. I think my intent really was to see if any cultists were going in and out of this area. Are there guards to the entrance to this cave? Is there anything significant at the entrance to this cave?
Do a perception or investigation, depending what you're looking for. You see recent signs of like footsteps passing through, like the light dusting of snow that's kind of in this general area. There seems to be signs of things like those crates probably being slid around in the area. But you don't actually see any particular guards who are watching over this.
And to the right of the hand looks like, is that some sort of like ballista or trebuchet there?
Yeah, trebuchet.
Okay.
Like there's trebuchets around the lower level, and then there's ballistas that you all would have seen from above on the turrets.
And those are those. It looks like it's a shadow. So to the right of the trebuchet, are those overhangs, or is that like some sort of structure where there's something underneath of it?
There's more buildings there, and then the actual roof does overhang.
Doc's gonna say, of course there's no guards to a dragon's cave, because if you go inside, there's a dragon.
That is so wise.
Should keep moving before it looks obvious that we're standing here.
Did you hear my dice roll?
I'm moving. I feel like it looks super suspect. We're like standing by a giant hand at a cave entrance.
Sure. You want to move east then? Check out those buildings.
I was sort of thinking west, that main entrance there.
All right.
So like each of those like overhung buildings on the west have entrances to them. Is that what you're talking about? One of those?
I think he means the cave immediately next to us.
Into the cave?
No, not the cave. There's like a big set of stairs is the only entrance I can see on mine. I can see the cave in the hand, and then I can see a big set of stairs that leads up to like an overhang.
So like each of those buildings that are like coming out of this main tower of the keep have entrances to themselves, and then yes, there are stairs over there if you wanted to head towards the stairs. And then there's a smaller building in the southwest that has an entrance. Like this is a main entryway. There's a plethora of entrances for you all to see.
So in that big central area, like the big like circle part that we can see, the crescent, is that like 3 separate buildings then? Is that what that is?
Yeah, they're kind of separated buildings off from the main keep.
And then can we kind of see what goes behind them on that like same northern portion by where the cave entrance is at? Does it look like you can just walk past them, or does that go into a wall?
Behind them on the same northern portion?
If we're right at the in between the hand and the cave right now, directly west of us, does that like
That's like
a
an
wall
ice
that-
wall of stone that builds up towards the actual wall of the outer keep.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
So are you thinking head towards the stairs or towards one of those 3 buildings?
Yeah, and I guess we can't really tell in between the buildings what that like little alleyway leads to, can we? Or can we see it kind of dead ends? I guess probably not from where we're at.
In between the buildings, those alleys are like just like snow covered, and they lead into the keep's wall.
I got you. Okay. Doc will just say, your guess is as good as mine. And look at like the entrances.
So just like walking past, the first one that you see seems to just kind of be, seems like some sort of storage area. It's just kind of like a very loose, like open door that you can kind of peek in through the slots and see that there's like wood and stone just kind of piled up inside of this area. The next one, just kind of like peeking through the door a little bit, you can see that there's like kind of a little bit of a sitting room. There's a bear rug on the ground. And then the third one is a room that's like frozen with ice, and it seems to be unoccupied.
On my screen, the whole keep is blacked out. Is that on purpose?
Yep.
Okay.
Seems like this is probably a dead end. These rooms should keep going towards the main entrance. I'm thinking if we go like west towards like the main set, not like these separate little buildings.
Towards the staircase, then?
Yeah. Because you said as we kind of peeked in, it looked like they were just small, random, like storage, basically. So.
Well, like the first one was clearly storage. The third one seemed unoccupied. The second one seemed like you were looking into like almost like a den, like a sitting room kind of thing.
Oh, maybe I misunderstood that then. I did not get that last part. It seemed to me like they were like storage, like not where we would go. Is there can we tell, is there like many footprints leading in there? Does it look like people go inside there?
All of them seem a little bit more like traveled. Perhaps not as many actually going into the actual areas, but do a perception. Was it Sarad is a Harper?
Yes.
The Cult of the Dragon is trying to raise Tiamat from hell. The cult, or the Harpers, are vaguely aware of this, and you had been sent to Leyland to investigate their rise in that area, and I believe you were then sent to Neritar because they were moving all of their treasure hoard through that castle. You all are, in essence, trying to stop the treasure hoard that is the line leading between everybody who the cult has murdered and kidnapped and perhaps the rise of Tiamat. Other than that, I'm not sure what you would be unclear about. You are trying to stop the Cult of the Dragon from doing what it wants to do. Talis wants you to fuck with her enemy, but that is also your enemy.
The enemy is my enemy, is my friend.
That is what got you here, Vicious, was appreciating the enemy of your enemy.
We gotta stop the dragons from doing dragon stuff. Except for Teddy, he's cool.
I don't think he's an actual dragon.
So does looking at that little bit of a den change your actual thought on then moving towards the stairs?
Oh yeah, that looks rather welcoming. I don't know, does it... Yeah, I guess we can kind of peep in there. When we poke our heads in or walk by, are there people inside that we can see or no?
Seems to be empty at present, though the fire in the corner is actually stoked and going. That's probably the only sign of life that you have in particular there. Perception-wise, you don't see a whole lot of signs of like recent footprints into any of these specific paths.
And are we seeing pretty clearly beds? And also, do we see a door leading, like what we would guess is inward?
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear that you could spot two different doors from that room in just kind of a pass by. I was trying to figure out what those were. I called them sitting, like seats, like it was a sitting room, but I think they are meant to be beds.
All right,
mean-
sounds good.
Can we search room to see if we can find any missives or intel? Just any information about the area?
You can most certainly go inside and do an investigation.
Sure. So 15 on the investigation to look for any critical intel.
Just to see if anybody explicated their entire plan.
No, I mean, if they're
You never
foot
know.
soldiers, they have orders or something. I'm just trying to be engaged here, dude.
This is an area where you kind of catch signs that this is like a middling level barracks. It's none of the higher ups, but you see different signs of kind of references to Parnass as the end point of where much of the Horde of the Dragon Queen is being brought to. Some of the other little bits that you find are kind of little like notes on kind of tracking the red wizards, and signs that these people don't really trust the red wizards. And I think those would be the two big things that you kind of take away from it.
All right, sounds good.
I want to check out the doors. Like, are they actual doors or just doorways? Can I put my ear up to one of them and see if I hear anything on the other side?
Yeah, this area here, they're stone doors. They're about 20 feet tall and about 10 feet wide. Do a perception.
$21.
And were you listening to a particular one?
Oh no, just I guess like maybe the northern one.
You hear further crackle of fire. It's kind of hard at first to really place whether it's coming from the door from this opposite side or whether it's coming from inside here. But you spend a few moments trying to gain that thought, and seems to be empty on the other side. There doesn't seem to be any sounds that are coming through the door.
Suppose we'll head deeper then. So I guess, like, what do I have to do, or can I get somebody to assist me to open this door?
Sure. I'll help open or push this door.
Yeah, I'm not proficient, so
Push it real good.
Are we doing an athletics check to see if we can,
Just give me one
push
second
up?
here. Yeah, so as you go to turn the knob and try to like pull on it, this door seems to be
Seems to be what?
locked.
You kind of broke it. Got it.
So you can either try to force it open with a athletics check, or you can have someone, anyone with proficiency or thieves tools rather, try to unlock it.
You want to try the athletics check?
Yeah, sure. We can try and break this down, I guess.
On 3, Verthus. I hope you're still as strong as you looked before. And then I guess I have proficiency, so I'll assist you. Is that how it works?
Okay.
So go for advantage on athletics there.
Glad it was on. So a 24 to push open this door.
Castle falls down.
That was Loadberry.
Pushing into the door, it seems stiff, as if you're not about to make it through, and kind of at the last moment you actually hear splintering from the door as the metal that is the locking mechanism actually shatters from the pressure of pushing into it, and the hinges kind of like break at the same time, and the door just like cracks off of its hinges.
I didn't mean that for real.
As you initially look into this area, you are looking at a, I think a small wall directly ahead that leads back towards another spiral staircase. You see a fire pit inside. There are a few racks of books, as well as a large carpeted area with a single seat against it and a small desk led in with a few things. And then there seems to be a small bed to the west there.
it's almost like private quarter.
And
What was that, buddy? It was really quiet.
Sorry, is that any better?
Oh, much.
I was saying it seems like it's someone's private quarters of some form. Then somebody important.
if I can actually have you all place your miniatures on the map there.
What was that?
Place yourself. Fuck, this is what I really hate about 10.
Freaking guy.
Fee, fi, fo, fo.
Yeah, so you can technically have 4 of you all do a space right now. At least Doc and Verthus are at the front there. Hadar and Vicious, y'all there?
Yeah, after a year, I still haven't figured out how to do this.
In the top right corner, where you got the speech bubble thing to open the normal chat, next to it looks like a newspaper folded over on itself. You click that, and you look down a little bit at your vicious token, and then you click the text, and then you drag the text out to the left to bring your token out, and you drop it where you want it to go.
Ah,
Yeah, but you're miles away.
thank you.
You're still looking at that fist, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm contemplating, the fingers and the palm of it and seeing if I can read the lifeline.
There are so many puns and jokes I want to make, but none of them are appropriate, and they're not that funny, so it's not worth it.
When is being appropriate stopped you?
Correct.
Make a very good point.
So where do you all want to be? Vicious, you cannot be that far forward. Essentially, you can be up with Verthus and Doc as the most forward point.
Okay, I just went where I could see my whole token.
So you can be kicking it with Hark.
Don't touch me.
So as you all bust open the
Poke.
door and you look around this room, you're going to see as a robed figure in a purple robe. Oh shit, what did I just do? I think I just hid one of your creatures.
Hard to tell because we're stacked. Oh, Hark's just gone.
Yeah, my bad. I was still selected on Vicious and turned her to the wrong level. So you are going to see as a robed figure stands up from the corner just outside of the view and walks forward at the sound of the breaking door and looks to you all, and she is going to say in Draconic, "And you are..."
I'll respond in Draconic. New loyalists here to join the family. Here to serve you. We're ready for orders.
You all
Apologies, it's
really
our first
can't
time.
just ever just say the password?
Oh, alright. Tiamat, our mother, our strength.
It's the one fucking thing that you know you're supposed to say.
Oh, but she
Well,
didn't
we've
say
tried
the.
it a few times.
I know, we've been saying it the whole session.
And you've gotten to walk past everybody that you've said it to.
Alright,
It's been
Tiamat,
working.
our mother, our strength. Tiamat, our mother, our strength.
I thought they were just ignoring us.
Yeah, it's usually
They
like a
were
call sign.
ignoring you. That's what you wanted.
Yeah, but they also did the same trigger phrase, but she didn't. She ran into a broken door and said something else. So I was like, all right, so she doesn't want the password. She
I
wants
mean, the other
explanation.
option is that we can go straight to initiative because you guys just busted into the room of Resmir. So
Alright, Tiamat, our
we
mother,
are
our
going
strength, and
to end the session with you guys breaking open the door into Resmir's room, and that's where we will pick up next session.
Well, just because we're violent intruders shouldn't put us into initiative. I mean, we
The
said the
moment he did
words.
not say "All hail Tiamat," I feel like it does. I don't know. I'm vaguely frustrated with the infiltration aspect.
Why?
I'm just saying how I feel. I feel like it's a lot of effort to set up stuff that really should just be fun combats instead of trying to infiltrate the cult grounds.
I feel as though we gave the password to everyone that gave us the call sign initially for it. This is the first person we've come across after putting our tokens down that said something that had nothing to do with a password request. She said, "What the fuck?" effectively, and I tried to just respond with that in Draconic because I speak Draconic. So there we go. But that's just how I feel. So there we go.
Mm-hmm. Well, sounds like we'll pick this up next session. Good session.
Yeah, sounds good. I might not be around next week, by the way. It's my birthday next Tuesday, so I might be doing other things, but I haven't actually got any plans yet. I'm just assuming somebody might show up. So
happy pre-birthday!
Happy birthday!
Yeah, happy
cheers,
birthday.
thank you. I'm gonna be 13, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Is it
Wait,
common
you'll
in
be
your place
30 or
to?
32?
13.
13. Well, that's a really big year.
You
I know, right? I'm
working
gonna
in,
go to big school.
You working in like dog years? Like every 7 years, your voice goes up an octave?
I'm hoping so. We'll get rid of this childish voice that I've got. You wouldn't think I was 31 from my voice, would you?
Oh, Josh, nobody told you? That's not going to go away, dude. You're British.
Yeah, I know. I got my teeth to remind me of that.
All you gotta do is come to US, and the moment you step foot on our ground, everybody's like, ooh, that's an awesome accent.
It's amazing how quickly people forget about the horrible aspect of the British occupation of America initially, then, isn't it?
Yeah, so like, do you have ads on TV or whatever where people talk with an American or an Australian accent? Because anytime there's an ad with a British person, we're all like, yeah, we'll buy that thing.
I mean, sometimes, but only when it's like an American